A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. Tens of thousands of pro-Palestinian demonstrators took to the streets of Sydney on Sunday, converging on the iconic Sydney Harbour Bridge in a powerful show of solidarity for Palestine. The march, which saw participants braving inclement weather, included notable figures such as WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange, who returned to Australia last year after his release from a high-security British prison. The demonstration closed the world-famous landmark, as protesters marched in defiance of a government that has yet to recognize Palestinian statehood. The event, organized by the Palestine Action Group, began at Lang Park in central Sydney, where participants gathered under heavy winds and rain. Many carried banners listing the names of thousands of Palestinian children who have lost their lives since the onset of the Gaza war, which erupted following an attack by Hamas in October 2023. Among the speakers at the rally was New South Wales Senator Mehreen Faruqi, representing the left-wing Greens Party, who passionately called for the harshest sanctions against Israel. She criticized New South Wales Premier Chris Minns for his earlier statements suggesting that the protest should not occur, stating, "This is a man who wants you to stay home and be silent in the face of a genocide." Faruqi's words resonated with the crowd, who chanted slogans such as "Ceasefire now" and "Free Palestine." As the march progressed, New South Wales police deployed hundreds of extra officers across Sydney and issued warnings regarding public safety. Around 3 p.m., police sent out mass text messages instructing marchers to stop and turn back due to safety concerns, stating, "In consultation with the organizers, the march needs to stop due to public safety and await further instructions." A police helicopter hovered overhead, directing the large crowd to return toward the city. Crowd estimates varied widely, with police suggesting around 100,000 participants while organizers claimed the number was closer to 300,000. The protest was marked by the presence of various community leaders and activists, including Indigenous actor Maine Wyatt and former Socceroo Craig Foster, who joined the ranks of demonstrators advocating for Palestinian rights. Assange, who made a rare public appearance, was seen marching alongside Bob Carr, the former New South Wales Premier and Federal Foreign Minister. Carr has been vocal about the need for Australia to recognize Palestinian statehood and impose sanctions on Israeli leadership, emphasizing the international outcry regarding the humanitarian crisis in Gaza, which has reportedly resulted in over 60,000 Palestinian deaths. The protest comes amidst growing international pressure on Israel to cease hostilities and address the humanitarian situation in Gaza. Countries such as France, Britain, and Canada have expressed intentions to diplomatically recognize a Palestinian state, while Australia has called for an end to the violence but has yet to make a definitive move toward recognition. In a powerful display of unity, protesters carried pots and pans to symbolize the starvation crisis in Gaza, while many waved Palestinian flags and donned rain gear to shield themselves from the elements. One protester, a British man named Dan, held a sign reading "Gay Jews for Gaza," emphasizing the need for diverse voices within the Jewish community to speak out against Israeli actions. Philomena McGoldrick, a registered nurse and midwife with experience working in Gaza, expressed her heartbreak over the suffering of innocent children. "Innocent babies have no color, no religion, no language. In this day and age, it's heartbreaking," she said, highlighting the urgency of the situation. The protest was not without its challenges, as police had initially rejected organizers' requests for assistance with traffic management, citing safety concerns. However, a ruling from the New South Wales Supreme Court allowed the march to proceed, leading to a historic day of activism on the Harbour Bridge. As the event concluded, participants remained hopeful that their voices would lead to meaningful change. Labour backbench MP Ed Husic, who also attended the march, called for his party to recognize Palestinian statehood, echoing sentiments shared by other politicians who signed an open letter urging the government to facilitate safe protests. While Sydney witnessed this monumental gathering, similar protests were taking place across Australia, with demonstrators in Melbourne facing police blockades as they sought to express solidarity with their Sydney counterparts. The events of the day underscored the growing momentum of the pro-Palestinian movement in Australia, as citizens continue to call for justice and accountability in the face of ongoing conflict. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.